So like if you didn't want to have a kid, the best way to prevent having a kid isn't to wear a condom. It isn't to have birth control. It's just to not have sex. It's that simple.
Yeah, but now you can't have sex. You see the
Womp
problem
womp,
here?
womp womp. If you don't want to have a kid, don't have sex. Just masturbate. Easy. GG.
You're actually like mentally brain damaged. Holy shit.
Hello and welcome to Platinum Politics. I'm your host Mace, and today I have somewhat of an okay debate for you. This debate was live streamed back in July, and it was one of our first live streams. If I'm not mistaken, it's our second. So things weren't really fleshed out. There was no real scheduling process. It was kind of just like, oh, you two want to debate? We're gonna do it this day. It was also one of the participants' first debates ever. So obviously, you know, there's going to be slip-ups there. It also wasn't On God I Love Water, one of the participants of this debate's best debate either. And I'll just go ahead and admit my moderation wasn't the greatest either in this. So yeah, it's not a fantastic debate, but I still feel like there's value in it. So yeah, if you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, it's debate night. Introduce yourself.
Yo. Yeah, I'm On God I Love Water. You guys have probably seen me before in one of the vids if you're familiar with the channel. My position is going to be that abortion is morally and ethically wrong in pretty much every circumstance. And the main reason for that is that I think it completely disregards an infant's right to life, in the sense that all Americans have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and abortion takes that away from American children. I yield.
And on the pro-choice side, we have Silly Rose.
Yeah, hi, I'm Silly Rose, from the channel Silly Rose on YouTube. I'm here today to debate the pro-choice position. I mean, it basically comes down to the opposite position. If somebody is pregnant and they don't want to have their child, they shouldn't have to. That's my position.
All right. Well, we're gonna do the way we're gonna structure.
Or wait,
this.
is this opening statements?
Well, I guess it was kind of like a intro / like rough opening statement, but since we did that,
It's
we'll
like
go
okay.
We'll go ahead and do like 3-minute opening statements just to kind of fledge out each opinion, and then we'll do about a 3-minute rebuttal, and then we'll open the floor and see where it goes from there. Is there a preference on which side would like to go first?
You can go first, Water.
All right, Water.
Okay.
3 minutes starts now.
Sure. My main reason that I'm pro-life is that I used to be pro-choice. I thought about it a lot, and my original reason to be pro-choice was that the mother's life is going to have a greater value than that of the fetus, in the sense that the mother has a conscious experience. But the problem with that line of thinking, from my understanding, and the reason why I converted, is because you're ignoring the infant's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It completely ignores the infant's choice. Additionally, when we talk about the responsibility of the mother and the parents for having a child, you accept the responsibility of having a child every time you have sex. It's just that simple. It's like saying that I accept that I can drive a car down the highway, but I don't accept the risk of getting into a car crash. Like, you can't not accept certain things if you're going to take certain actions, right? It just doesn't work out that way. Especially when it comes to the creation of life, as of created from a unique act, that being sex. You can't just terminate a life because it's either inconvenient or for economic reasons. It just doesn't. It's not plausible, right? If it was for economic reasons, I would say probably would be better to put the kid up for adoption than just ending their life. You know, I feel like life in an orphanage kind of sucks, but not having a life at all is probably worse. I yield my time.
All right, Silly Rose, your 3 minutes starts now.
Well, I guess there's a lot to go with here, but I guess if I had to pick one thing, it would probably be the thing about the conscious experience. First off, a baby doesn't really have the capacity to value its conscious experience because it doesn't really have a conscious experience yet. So I don't really see, like, that value only seems like something you're valuing. Like, the baby itself doesn't really have the capacity to value that. Does that, well, I shouldn't ask this to make sense because my opening statement. God, I'm so unfocused. Sorry. Your thing about completely disregarding the right to life. No, wait, that's just the same point I made before. Honestly, I'm more here for the open discussion part.
So I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, if y'all are fine with it, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and open the floor.
Cool.
Sweet. Yeah.
So, from your opening statement, I did have a few questions.
Yep.
So are you against like the meat industry?
That's a little bit that's kind of weird because like on paper, if I was being morally consistent, I should be vegan.
I
But
understand that too. I'm one of the people who thinks I should be vegan even though I eat meat. So
right, it's like I don't know if I would be able to come up with a diet that properly fits that, but that's like probably an entirely different conversation.
I mean, you think so? Like, because, like, when it comes to valuing life, I don't really think it's ethical to, like, factory farm a creature for the sake of it being killed. Like, to me, that's almost worse than the creature never being born at all. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm like Hitler, for example, and I'm making my concentration camp people, like, breed to have children, isn't that kind of worse than them not having children at all? Well, actually, I don't know if that's a... Huh. Now
I feel like I feel
I
like
don't
I
know the
get what
answer to
you're
that
saying.
myself. Sorry.
No, you're good. I personally would say it's better than not, which sounds really weird, like to say, because it's like, oh my God, you're literally like you say that you would prefer kids being born into slavery, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, ideally, right, they wouldn't be born into slavery, right? Like crazy, who
Well,
would have thought?
yeah, ideally.
Right. But like from my understanding, life itself, like any like majority of life, like in the experiences you go through are always going to be positive. Obviously there are things in
Are
life
are
that
we
are
are we
inherently
talking
negative,
about
but yeah.
like a conscious being? I assume you're not saying like COVID-19 is like precious because it's a living creature and
Oh
so.
yeah, no. Yeah, like conscious, like
Yeah.
from a human perspective, right? I wouldn't say that COVID-19 has an inherent value. Just like how I wouldn't say that like the average flu doesn't. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some. I've heard that mosquitoes, like apparently nature, like for the most part, nature can do without mosquitoes. I don't know. That could be bullshit. That could very well be bullshit.
I hope that's true. I do.
It would be nice if it was.
Yeah. Also, really quick to clarify from the opening, when I said like the whole like conscious experience thing, that was the reason why I favored pro-choice when I first like got into the sphere of like the abortion debate. I recognize that infants don't have a conscious like fetuses in the womb don't have a conscious experience. It's just not there. They don't have the capacity to project that.
They will experience things like pain after, I believe, 24 weeks, though. But
Yeah.
at that point, you can abort the fetus without killing it.
Yeah. Isn't that just a C-section though? Just like just to be
Yeah.
clear.
Well,
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if it. I think you can take it out. Well, I don't know conventionally how abortions are performed if they're done
Mhm.
C-sectionally or if they're just like removed through the cavity.
Right. I
It probably is a case by case basis.
Yeah, yeah.
But even so, yeah, you can definitely. Not all abortions are fatal. So, like, if would you agree that if somebody is like 24 weeks, I believe that's the point where the fetus has sentience. Do you think a woman should have the right to remove the fetus and like have it go into incubation and grow up normally?
I think that'd be fine at any point in like the fetus's development. Like if there was the ability to like save the life of the fetus and technically terminate the abortion for the mother, or sorry, terminate the pregnancy for the mother. I think
Yeah.
that's a preferable outcome. I think
Okay.
that's pretty fair, yeah.
I have to take that to the next level then. What
Okay.
about like? Do you think when we get to a point where we can have in vitro, not in vitro fertilization, but like the actual fetus growing in the tube, would
Mm.
you be for that?
What do you so like
Like the
hmm.
idea of it is basically that like if the person doesn't want to have the child, they can just have it extracted. Like
Oh,
and
yeah.
I assume in this society we would grant like an embryo personhood
Yeah,
or
yeah.
sorry, a zygote. I mean.
I think that yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea. I think that actually should be the next step. I think we should encourage that whenever it becomes possible.
I
It just
am
makes more sense if you
I
ask me.
am a
But yeah,
transhumanist in the sense that like I do think it would be better to birth children not using our bodies.
it's just like from a utilitarian perspective, it's just entirely inconvenient. And then from like a personal perspective, like there's just no reason to have
Yeah,
unnecessary pain in
yeah,
that.
like you would agree that like when it comes to pregnancy there's a lot of backlash and like permanent I don't want to say damage,
I mean,
permanent
it
like
would be
side
accurate, yeah.
effects, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, like your whole body changes and like regards to it. Like it's a it's a laborious task, one might say. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and this is where I come to the pro-choice side of things is that like I just don't think And like, keep in mind that not everyone who gets pregnant is choosing to have pregnant. I'm sure you've heard the side of the argument that like, some babies are babies, and and like they certainly shouldn't have to have that baby if it's going to act as like a symbol of their trauma.
I would disagree with that in the sense that, well, I'm not disagreeing that they could see it as a sense of their trauma. It'd be really, really inappropriate for me to say that someone couldn't view it that way. What I meant
Yeah.
is, I think that in that case they should be put up for adoption. I don't think it's, again, like the way that I
Yeah,
view it for that.
but this let's go back to for a moment to like how pregnancy can have those permanent effects on the body.
Yeah.
This woman who was, why should she have to put her body through that process of being pregnant? Why should she have to deal with like potentially having weaker legs when she's older, weakened pelvis? If she doesn't want to grow bigger breasts, why should she have to grow bigger breasts like for the child?
I understand that. I think the alternative, though, is that why should the fetus be forced to be terminated in a decision that is not of its own? Like, the way that I view it is that you're punishing an innocent for the action of the non-innocent being the rapist. Also, additionally, right, if you have the child and you DNA test that shit, that's like the best way to convict
First
the
off, I do want to say, if somebody does a woman, he should be punished. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but what were you saying? Sorry.
it's just, it seems that we're punishing the wrong person. And additionally, by having the child, it is 1,000 times easier to find out who the rapist is and punish them.
Yeah, but again, that just doesn't seem worth putting your body through like pregnancy, especially if you just don't want to do that. And if you don't have the finances to do that, I don't think you would want to be compelled to either. Like, and even just putting it up to adoption, just going back to the body thing, it just doesn't seem fair to the woman. I understand why you see it like it doesn't seem fair to the baby, but I don't see why we should value the yet to be conscious experience over the conscious experience.
I think the reason that I value conscious, or not
The
like even like a being's like a person that doesn't have personhood is the only way that I can describe it. Like, they're going to have the qualities of a person, right? They're going to have consciousness, life experiences. They're going to have all these things at some point if assuming that the pregnancy goes along uninterrupted. Like, and thus from
yeah,
that, I
but
don't see why we should terminate it.
But like, so what? Like, if you never have those experiences, then it just kind of creates this so what argument. It's like I never asked to be born. So if I was never born, I'm not around to care that I was never born. Does that make sense?
That's true. Yeah, no,
Like,
I
I'm not I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to feel wronged if I was never born. But if I'm a pregnant woman and I'm forced to carry and deliver a baby, I'm going to feel wronged.
Right, but just because you're ignorant to a wrong that's been done upon you doesn't mean that it's good to do that wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you stole $50 from me. I didn't know you stole $50 from me, right? I must have left it in the couch cushions, whatever. Then I don't see how we could say that wasn't wrong. Like, you still stole $50 from me. You still took my life in this situation.
I'm sorry. Could you try using another analogy, please?
Yeah, okay. So let's say I have like a couch, but like I've left this couch in my backyard for some reason. It's just a spare couch that I have. I use it every now and then, but like I wouldn't notice if it was gone. And then you take the couch and I don't notice it's gone. Does that mean that you stealing the couch was a good thing because I just didn't know that it was, I didn't feel the effects of that wrongdoing?
I'm still not quite seeing how that's analogous, but I guess if I
Okay.
had to answer that, I would say no, it probably wouldn't be wrong. Or no, I would say yes, it probably would be wrong to take that couch. Sorry.
Right. No, you're good. The main point of that, it's a little hard to make an analogy for, well, if I just didn't know I existed, then like how could I know? It's the main like
Oh
point that I'm
yeah, if
making there,
I
it's
didn't know I was
insane.
wronged, how could I be wronged?
Yeah. Like, I would say you still were wronged, but like
Hmm.
it's definitely lesser than if I knew I was being wronged and the wrongdoing was done upon me, right? But I mean, it's gonna depend on what the wrongness is, but yeah.
I noticed on your tags it says that you're libertarian, right?
Oh yeah, it's just I'm not libertarian
Isn't
like American.
Oh yeah, same. I
Yeah,
have my tag as libertarian left, but I certainly wouldn't identify as a libertarian.
right.
I'm just definitely not like into autocracy.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason
Okay,
that's
because
there is
I was
because
gonna say like, isn't it
yeah,
kind of like a non-libertarian take to say that like you shouldn't be able to
yeah.
alter your body or like I guess things that are attached to it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna join a group called Young Americans for Liberty. It's a libertarian group of like college kids, and like I did some like further digging on them. I just disagree with them like on a lot of things. Like I just have libertarian right because it's not I'm not authoritarian right. I'm definitely not leftist. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like a but there's only two left and right options. I get it. Yeah, no worries.
I might be a
Um,
transhumanist too. I just didn't like put it on there, but I'm not
you're
particularly sure.
I mean, yeah. That again, that is another discussion for another day. But I would love to delve into that.
Yeah, totally.
So I guess to drive the conversation along,
Please, please
what
do.
what exactly? I'll go ahead and give 2 minutes to answer the question for both of you. What makes you pro-life or pro-choice? I'll go ahead and let Silly Rose have the first 2 minutes. Just what is the reason that you are pro-choice?
I just don't think people should be forced to deal with carrying or delivering a baby, or even having to raise a baby. Once again, there's just permanent effects to that pregnancy might cause that can fuck up your body for life, and you should not be forced to deal or put up with that. I do think your conscious experience is worth more than a potential experience that you don't even know what that person might turn out to be like. Like they could be the next like Donald. I shouldn't say that in this. They'd be the next Hitler. They could be the next like Xi Jinping. I don't know. There's a lot of good and bad things they can be. That argument is fundamentally meaningless there.
All right, on got a little water. Why are you both libertarian right and pro-life?
Yeah, so the reason that I'm pro-life is it's just what like one of my core values. I think fundamentally this argument is going to come down to what do you value more, and those two values that I would say are at odds would be the value of potential life or like even just life that exists currently, and then valuing autonomy more. Because if we're going by a purely autonomous perspective of the world, where autonomy is the higher order of value, then the mother should have the right to abort a fetus no matter what. If you're going based off of potentiality of value and or even just again active life being developed, then in every situation the fetus is going to have their say in that, right? But additionally, I think that sometimes when we make these arguments we forget the autonomy of a child, but then we also get into the discussion of does a fetus have autonomy because it isn't even conscious yet, so like does it have something that it doesn't it hardly even exists as like a person. It's more of like a blob that will become a person, you know what I mean? So I would say that just valuing the autonomy of the fetus and valuing the life that is at stake.
All right, the floor is now open.
Okay, that did provide me another question. Thank you, Mace. So do you consider like a dog as having personhood to any capacity?
I don't believe so. I don't think a dog fits all of the qualities of a person. I think they do to some degree, but not like I wouldn't say they have personhood.
So like, okay, damn. Then my argument kind of falls flat. I was kind of gonna go with like we put down our dogs, right? Like our dogs don't have a say in when they die. And if our dog is ill, oftentimes a lot of us will like we don't ask for its consent because like it can't do that. It doesn't have the intelligence to do so. And in those situations, is it not better to just take it like for the conscious beings to take it into their hands?
Yeah, I think the problem with the dog analogy though is that dogs are not going to develop into having personhood. They're not going to have the
Well,
conscious
they certainly
ability.
develop into having like a consciousness.
Yeah, they have a
Similar
conscious
similar to how a
experience,
baby
yeah.
would.
Sure, but they don't have the mental faculty to make decisions like that. They don't even have a
Dogs have the mental
sophisticated language
capacity to make decisions.
to make certain decisions that they're trained to make usually. And that's just talking about like purely primal ones like eat food or don't eat food.
Well, if a dog is mentally programmed not to eat food, it's probably just gonna die.
Like there's going to be inherent decisions that every organism makes. even if it's not conscious. But like I don't think it's an apt comparison, especially considering that we view dogs as a property almost that we have. Like it's always my dog, not like a dog that I am friendly with. It's my dog, my cat. Yeah.
Sure, but like I would say like when you say like my child, you're not saying like you own the child. Oh well, I guess that's the point you're making. Never mind.
Well, yeah, you do though, right? You're legally responsible for the kid. You have to be
Yeah, but
responsible.
you don't own your
Yeah.
kid. Like
Well, I mean, you do in certain
if I
instances.
beat the shit out of my child, Child Protective Services is gonna take my child away because I don't own my child.
Right, same with dogs. Because if you beat your it's because child protective services and animal rights
Yeah,
group
yeah.
prefer
So
that
we're
we don't
giving
beat the
dogs.
fuck out of life. Yeah,
That's kind of like giving dogs the same protections as children, is it not?
in the sense that we aren't allowed to beat the fuck out of them. Yeah, yeah, I support both. Yeah, I don't think we should be able to kill dogs on the spot either. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can definitely tell you're probably like against the meat industry. That your
Oh
vibes
yeah.
definitely seem on that.
If
So,
there
and
if
I can at least appreciate that, like for pro-lifers who are against the meat industry, I definitely am like, okay, well, you're definitely way less of a hypocrite, so I appreciate that.
yeah, it's like if there was an alternative, I probably would take it. Like if there's like a plausible alternative, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're not like, yeah, I'm glad it's coming from a place of compassion and not like women should have to do it because they're the baby machines. That's at least
Right.
what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have any more questions. Mace, you should prompt us again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess Christian Curator says you do own your own children legally, so I don't know where this is going. I guess
No, you don't. Your children have legal autonomy. Like they. What are you talking about? You don't own your children. That's ridiculous.
You do own your children in the sense that like there's a
You're
reason why
responsible for your children.
right, because they're seen as like like you have had this kid in the sense that you made the kid, you are responsible for them for 18 years because they aren't really like
Yeah,
that's why you have to
yeah, but
emancipate yourself.
me, like, if it's me, if I'm literally owning another person, it's slavery then. Like, my
No.
child is not my slave, it's my child. And in that sense, I don't own them. Like, I don't own the person. Like,
No.
I'm just responsible for them. I need to make sure they get their education. I need to make sure they stay clean and clothed and fed.
Like you still
Like
have to
that,
like
you certainly don't have to do that when you own a person. If you own a person, you can leave them there to rot and die.
okay. So
You know what I
to
mean, right?
throw another question out here, if you do not own a person or own your child per se here, what gives you the right to abort them in that case?
true.
Well, I mean, for me, it's the simple fact that I don't consider them to be a child yet.
Well, still, right? It's not whatever you want to call it. It's not yours, right? You don't own it as it's a separate
How?
entity. Because if you don't own it, then it's not yours. So,
But
like,
like, it's
like
if it's literally in your body and your body is making it, it's yours, is it not?
no, because first of all, again, you don't own it. You own your body, but it's a separate entity. It's a separate body, right? Like the fetus is its own thing. It's connected to you by like a umbilical cord, but like once the umbilical cord's cut, and like it's no longer part of you. It's like an arm. Like an arm, like is part of you until
That
you
doesn't
chop it
seem very
off. Yeah.
analogous.
Well, once it's chopped off, would you consider that still your arm, or is it just a arm? I would say it's just a arm.
I would say it's still my arm.
I would say it used to be your arm, but like still, like the point. That
I
I'm
get what
trying
you're
to get at,
saying.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's what seems the most appropriate to me if we're gonna take an ethical stance to this.
I guess water. What is so unethical about abortion, especially prior to 20 weeks?
I'm not particularly sure about like the times, like the particular like how a fetus develops when it comes to that. I'd have to pull up a chart to be accurate about it. It's been a while since I've had one of these debates, but from my understanding, before 20 weeks, that's about when it's still like the fetus can't feel anything, doesn't have consciousness, is barely even resembling a human. It's the reason again is because it's going to develop into a person. It's in the active stages of development to become a full-fledged person, like an individual. And again, you don't own the fetus, you own your body, but your body is around the fetus. It's not
Yeah,
part
but
of
if
it.
you own your body and your body is necessary, sorry, am I allowed to?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sorry. If your body is the one generating the fetus, and you own your body, why should your body be like what's the word? Why should your body be compelled to have it?
Because I think you have a moral responsibility to accept that you took actions that resulted into this.
Why?
Right? Like, because if you're having sex and like it results in a kid, you kind of have to accept that, yeah, that's what sex does. That's the responsibility. I can't just kill a life because I didn't want to have the responsibility of a kid. It doesn't seem fair to the kid.
I don't know. It doesn't seem fair to my wallet for me to have the kid.
That's fair, and that's why I think we should have more government assistance for people who are going to give birth.
I think we should just have more government assistance for everyone, period.
Yeah, it's true. Again, yeah, it's just saying.
In fact, I think people would have more children and have less abortions if we did have more, I guess subsidizing wages, almost like just just giving people more money.
Right, which is why we should cut funding for abortion assistance and we should reinvest that into making people's lives better. So that
Well, I disagree with that because right now abortion is one of the ways we make our lives better is just
Or
by
we could
like avoiding having children.
or just not having sex. If you don't want to
But
have
why?
kids
But
or
people
have
should be
sex.
allowed to have sex if they want to.
That's
Having
true,
sex is
that-
fun and it feels good.
Yeah, I get that. But like whenever you're doing that, right? Like you have to accept that there's a possibility that I'm making a kid right now. And that's gonna be my responsibility.
Well, first off, most people are on birth control or using a condom when they're consciously having sex. Usually,
Yeah.
people only get pregnant through sex if the condom breaks.
Right. Or if it's like specifically for it. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, so that doesn't seem fair though. If you're taking
Oh.
the necessary precautions to avoid having the child and you still end up pregnant, why should you have to go through with that?
It's like trying to rationalize like why I shouldn't have to accept the responsibility of an action because like it's like a condom and Plan B and other birth control methods are all
It's like
they're all
if I'm gonna pick up a hot dish from the oven and I put on oven gloves to stop myself from getting burned, but then there's a hole in them and I burn myself anyways, do I deserve to get burned?
I wouldn't say you deserve to get burned, but yeah, you should take care of the burn instead of just like saying, "Nah, I don't have to deal with it." Like I don't
Yeah.
understand what you're trying to get at there.
Fair enough. Honestly, it's not a great analogy because
Oh,
I should have replaced those gloves if there was a hole in them.
Like yeah, like if you can observe that there are ways to reduce your risk whenever you're taking like having sex, like by again, like in this case it would have been wearing the glove, then like yeah, like or just not having like hardcore sex, then like yeah, that probably would solve a lot of your problems. Yeah.
Okay, so I assume how far are we into this, Mace?
We are 30 minutes at the start of the recording. The stream's been going on for about 50.
Okay. Wow, it feels like it's been a lot longer than that. Okay, I wanted to ask you, do you know what an atopic pregnancy is?
No, I'm not particularly familiar with that.
So it's quite literally when like a pregnancy will end up like killing the mother. Typically, it will kill both the mother and the fetus. So, what do you think in that situation? Would it be appropriate to still remove the fetus, knowing that like both creatures would die from the process?
Oh yeah, because in that case, like there is like if both are going to die during the process of something when it comes to a pregnancy, you should value the life of the being that's going to be guaranteed to life, which is almost always the mother. Like if
Okay,
the mom
but-
is going to
but-
die no matter
but
what, I'd rather save the fetus.
That seems contradictory to a lot of what you've said so far. Like in regards to like finances, shouldn't I care more about like if the mother's already surviving and the mother is the one that's going to have a chance of survival and having the kid is going to cause her to be financially burdened, and like I guess it's not losing your life in the sense that it's killing you, but you certainly will have less free time and like fun, really.
I guess like if you don't want to have these responsibilities and extra burdens and just don't have sex, I guess then like that's like the only advice I could give you. Like there's
Dude,
other stuff you can do.
This,
like I don't know.
you can't. I think this is the problem here. Like you can't just like not have like some people love sex. Like it just. I don't see why why
like,
should having sex force you to have a child? Like that seems ridiculous to me.
I'm
Like
not saying it should force you to have a child, but if it happens, then you kind of have to roll with it. You have to roll with the punches a bit. Like if you're like I'm a drummer.
why
right?
can't the fetus roll with the punches?
Hold on. I'm a drummer, right? What I do increases my risk for certain muscle problems in like my forearm because that's where a lot of the drumming like action happens. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop drumming, but like if that happens, right? If I get some muscle dystrophy in my forearm, then like yeah, I accepted that risk when I was started drumming. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
yeah.
but a pregnancy is preventable because you can give somebody an abortion. You can't
Same
fix
with
whatever you're
no.
talking about.
You could just stop drumming then, and then that would stop the progression of it. Just find a different hobby. It sucks, but like
That's
yeah.
such a bleak worldview, my dude.
I mean, like if you don't want to have, like if you don't want to risk getting in a car accident,
To
That's like
continue on
if
that
you don't want to
analogy,
have permanent leg.
I just want to just to continue on that analogy. Water, would you not say would it then not be true? Well, you shouldn't do any surgical action to help your wrist after because you did the years of drumming and such.
if that was a solution to it, sure, right? But the equivalent and like the analogous way would be I cut off my forearm because my forearm is now parasitic.
What?
Because my
What?
forearm would be if I ruined my forearms after drumming and they were unusable in this situation, I would like you could either take surgery to fix it and then roll with how difficult that's going to be. It's a very long
Sure.
process, very costly process. Or I could just cut the damn thing off and call it good there.
Oh right, I forgot you're an American. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't do that whole
Yeah, you
free
don't have free
healthcare shit.
healthcare. I wasn't
Yeah,
thinking
we
of
don't
that.
do that.
On like honestly, if you're living in America, honestly, I could justify the cutting off the hand thing. It probably would be cheaper than getting like 5 surgeries on your wrist.
True. But like I would say it's probably worth it to get the surgery then. Because like even if insurance doesn't cover it, which I'd be really surprised, like yeah, like I think that it
Because
probably would be better
I
just
like
to pay for
from
it.
a Canadian standpoint, where I'd just be able to get it for free. I'm like, yeah, I'd totally get my arm treated.
Ew,
It's
yucky.
use it's use like even if I can't use it for drumming, I can still use it for hand gestures and like social interaction with other people. Probably.
Right. Like like if you don't want to like get a girl pregnant or if you're growing you don't want to get pregnant, just just don't have sex
Oh,
with other people. Just find
okay.
something else
No,
like finger
another
yourself or something.
thing.
I don't know.
So you do seem pro like taking every extent like to not have it. What about contraception and or vasectomies are contraception, right?
I think they're considered that technically.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I think contraceptives were fine because you're mitigating a
Cool.
risk. But like, because like the way that I view it is that if you're preventing a pregnancy, it's not the same as ending it, right? Like if you're doing all of the necessary steps to try and prevent the pregnancy itself, you're doing all of the mitigation of risks, then I don't see why you should be punished for that with a pregnancy, right? Like if you're having casual sex just for the hell of it, then like yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like you're just not like I just can't think of an analogy to the accepting the risk thing. Like I feel like there's definitely analogies where that wouldn't apply, where it's like you shouldn't have just done this to begin with because like you should have known the risk. Like it's almost like when a woman gets like and someone is like, well, it's like maybe you shouldn't have dressed that way kind of
That's
thing.
not at
Like
all.
that's
No.
the kind of vibe I get from it's like, oh, well, you didn't want to have the baby, maybe you shouldn't have had sex.
No, because the choice is entirely on the rapist. I have to get over someone. Like that's just like you're ignoring the woman's
What you
autonomy
want to
as a
wear in
woman.
public is entirely your choice.
I know that's the point. The choice for the rape was on the rapist. The choice to dress how they wanted to is on the girl. The dress probably didn't have anything to do with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, how is that
Realistically,
not analogous?
it is analogous. That technically, if you do wear more revealing clothes, technically you are increasing your chance of. But
Yeah,
like,
but does
again,
that
like
make
no,
does
hold on,
but
hold
does that
on.
make it your fault for getting raped?
It doesn't make it your fault because even if you wear that
Exactly.
slutty dress out, even if you wear that like a revealing outfit out, the rape was gonna happen no matter what because it's the rapist's decision to rape. That was the whole point. Like if you remove the rapist from the
What?
situation, nothing happens. If you remove the woman from the situation, someone's probably still gonna get raped. Like that
And
does that not make sense? Like what do you mean and?
like so what?
So it's not the responsibility of someone who didn't consent to that. I like
Yeah,
unless you're
so exactly. So if you didn't consent to getting pregnant, why should you have to fucking have the baby?
because the difference here is that if you're consenting to having sex, which increases your risk of having a kid significantly,
Yeah, so if you're going out in
no.
public and wearing slutty clothes, which increases your chance of getting raped. It's again. You see where I'm going with this?
Do you think that wearing slutty clothes means that you're consenting to
No.
Okay. Do you think that having sex means that you're not? I don't understand what's going
I
on.
don't think having sex means that you're consenting to having a child
I feel
or
like you
getting
kinda
pregnant
have
or
to.
even the possibility of it.
You don't even have to you don't even have to consent to. Well, hold on. I don't know how you can not consent to the possibility of something. Like I don't. It's like saying that I drive a car. So when I get in a car crash, I didn't actually consent to the car crash. So that's why car crashes shouldn't exist. It's like, yeah, ideally that would be the case, but like you have to prepare for the
It really
consequences
just
of your
feels like
life.
you're making my argument for me.
How did I just make your argument for you?
Because if I'm doing the dangerous thing and I'm not consenting to, if I'm doing the thing that risks the dangerous thing happening, I'm not consenting to the dangerous thing happening.
Right, you're consenting to the thing that increases your risk. Right. It's like if you didn't want to have a kid, the best way to prevent having a kid isn't to wear a condom. It isn't to have birth control. It's just to not have sex. It's that simple.
Yeah, but now you can't have sex. You see the
Womp
problem
womp
here?
womp womp. If you don't want to have a kid, don't have sex. Just masturbate. Easy. GG. I don't know what I mean. I don't know what you want me to say. Like unless you found a way to entirely get rid of like like if you could find a way that like guaranteed that you'd never have a kid, that'd be for that. But like yeah, like right now it's just not possible.
I mean, you can get a vasectomy right now.
I mean you could, but even then that still has
And
like
you can
a
also get it
consequence.
undone too, but we don't get those for free. I think we should get those for free actually.
I don't think
That
so.
that would help a lot with like just people complaining about abortion. If you could just get a vasectomy at like a certain age, and then like once you want to have a child, you can get it undone temporarily, and then you can just get it done again. I think that would be great if we had that.
Okay.
Getting off topic, I think though.
Okay. I would say that if you want to get a vasectomy, that's fine. We shouldn't illegalize vasectomies. And in fact, if you just don't want to have a kid, then just get a vasectomy, which is probably cheaper than an abortion, and it's more
Um,
reversible.
would you say that's true, Mace?
I mean, we can just look it up.
I'm the moderator. I'm not supposed to have an opinion about anything.
Oh,
It's a fact
sorry.
check. Fact
Yeah,
check.
I was asking for a fact check if
Oh, what was
that
what
was
was the
okay.
fact check? The price?
Yeah.
Getting a vasectomy is cheaper than getting an abortion. Because I could see how that would totally be true, but I can also see how it wouldn't.
I mean,
even if
they're about the same price though, because it just depends on also the type of abortion. Like obviously.
Oh, like how far in
Yeah.
the pregnancy, or
Vasectomies
okay,
are gonna always be about the same, you know, because it's
yeah, because it's always just like a testicles.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so just get a vasectomy then I guess. Yeah. Also, like I have a question for you, Rose. Like why if it's my hobby to have sex and I don't want to accept the responsibility of what could happen from sex, how is that not my fault for having sex if I have a kid?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
So if I'm engaging in a behavior that increases my risk of a consequence, how am I not at fault for the consequence of the action, right? Like if my hobby
Well, I
is
just
sex,
explained that to you.
yeah,
Like if I go biking, like
you're more likely to end up in a bike crash.
yeah, but
Right.
I'm not like if somebody else driving their car hits me, I'm not responsible for the motorcycle crash happening.
Right, but the difference would be that
I just accepted the higher risk that could happen.
right, but in this situation, you're consenting to the person driving to drive with you, which almost like
Are we talking about being a passenger on a motorcycle or riding a motorcycle just like the driver?
I feel like this is going to be analogous either way, just because you don't drive to get in crashes, but you have sex to have kids usually. Like, and even if you don't, that's just like the natural product of what happens when
Dude,
you have sex.
I guarantee you most occurrences of sex do
Are not
not
are
result in
not
pregnancy.
obviously, yeah. Like people have to try a lot harder to have a kid than just have casual sex. Yeah.
Wait, what? What? Sorry, what do you mean by that?
So having casual sex is probably a lot easier than getting pregnant because for pregnancies you also have to be fertile. Like the woman has to be fertile, the man has to be fertile, then you have to try a bunch of times. So there's
I
gonna be
mean, that's
failed
pretty
attempts. Yeah.
common.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
need to be in the birth cycle. It's really not that hard.
Yeah, but some people are
I'd say without
okay.
any contraception whatsoever, it'd be easier to cause a pregnancy than to not cause a pregnancy from intercourse.
That's fine. Either way, like if we agree that it's easier just to have it's more likely that you're gonna have a kid, then that just proves my
Yeah,
argument further.
but again, let's say you're using the contraception. You're taking every possible precaution you can to avoid having the child, and it still happens. Why should you have to deal with it when
Because that's
when you were being completely responsible?
because you took that responsibility when you engaged in the act. It's like
This is just
again,
going in circles, I think.
All right, so
Yeah,
I guess just to get the conversation going, we can pull a couple people up here and have them drive the conversation. The first person I will get up here is Lome, because they have been dying to speak.
Oh boy.
a communist and a pro-life or a
Come
pro-choice.
on in here, Lome.
I find the evolutionist tag funny. I just like I believe in evolution, but like I've never thought of myself as like an evolutionist, so I never did click on that tag.
All right.
Oh, hi.
Now
So,
we're
Okay, so the premises here on each side seem to hinge on like a different idea of a moral status of personhood, where it starts and where it doesn't, and what each of you have decided determines a moral status of personhood worth protect is like what each of you have decided on those grounds is or like in that area is it differs because you guys have different ways that you have come to believe what you believe, and that's a difference in epistemology, and you have to start there.
Is that the difference of it? Sorry, are you explaining the definition of epistemology?
Well, epistemology is, justification in knowing, or like having, like, sorry, I'm bad at talking, especially when
It's
I'm on
okay.
stage.
Take your time.
But like you have to start at the root where knowing begins, and can take different turns based on like you start with different, like, okay, so let's just get into it. Like, so with on the pro-choice side, the belief seems to be or I don't know, like I'm not gonna when does personhood start and why?
Well, honestly, no. For me, it's more about just personal autonomy. I do just value the conscious being over the non-conscious being.
Yes,
But again, I guess yes, that does correlate to the personhood. I suppose once, yeah, like I would grant personhood once it's born because like it's independent at that point. It doesn't need anything to feed off, right?
Yes. So, and then on the pro-life side, I figure the belief is personhood starts at conception, and that person that starts at conception is worth protecting to the extent that like the mother must carry the pregnancy to and like basically the growing zygote or fetus must be protected like like a living person, right?
Well,
And that means there shouldn't be like the option of killing it in abortion. So I mean, is that your stance, that like there's a
personhood to the zygote?
Huh?
Is that what I'm understanding your question is? To summarize,
yeah. When does personhood start and why?
you're asking me, right? Not Water?
Oh,
Because I just answered.
no.
No, I can answer too.
I was
think,
asking.
Oh, okay.
yeah, a person
I was asking.
personhood comes about because they like have the attributes of a person. A person is a human being regarded as an individual. So that starts immediately, right? Because they're an individual entity beyond the mother. That's the reason
Yeah,
why.
okay, but like I don't know, like do you know a zygote is like a single-celled organism, right?
Sure, it's still separate from the mother. That's why it's not a cell. It's part
Yeah,
of the mother.
but like semen, or sorry, sperm and and ova are like those are separate from my body, but I don't grant those personhood. Like why is masturbation fine, but like once you get someone pregnant, like that's a problem.
The reason why is because sperm is not going to develop into a human life. It's not a human.
But it has the potential to.
No, if you
Yes, it
jerk
does.
off, if you nut on a fucking tissue, it's not going to become a human.
Yeah, but if I nut on a fucking lady's vagina, it's gonna become a human.
Right, because there's an egg. There's an egg. There's the catalyst for that growth. Yeah. Like, do you think that
This doesn't make any sense. You're just
that-
arbitrarily
Hold on,
assigning
hold on,
a value
hold on,
to the
hold on, hold on.
zygote.
Rose, do you think that a piece of sperm on a tissue is going to become a human at any point, given any amount of time?
Do you think a zygote on a piece of tissue is going to become a human?
No, because the zygote's it's been removed from the
Right,
womb.
because it's a
Yeah.
single-celled organism that
No,
can
because
survive
we're
on its
removed
own.
Okay, so can you answer that question, or are you gonna pivot to zygotes? Because if you think that sperm could actually survive on a piece of tissue and become a fully grown human, I don't think we can have this discussion.
Why are you using this for a sperm and not a zygote though? Because a zygote can't do that
Because
either.
You use that as the example. You use that as the example. Hello? Like,
I can use the zygote as an example.
Sure, I want to answer the first question though before we move on to the zygote.
No, sperm won't survive
This
on a
whole
tissue.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so when a zygote is in the womb, okay, and is being
When the
developed.
sperm is in the womb, it can
Wait,
touch the egg and become a zygote.
Yes, that's the
There,
difference. That's
thus
the
it
difference.
has,
No, hold
thus
on.
it has the
You just
potential to
found
become
it.
a human
You
life.
just found it. Yes, the egg. The egg is what is needed there. You need the sperm and the egg. A sperm by itself doesn't do that. Now, a zygote is going to develop into a fetus. That is how that works. I don't understand
Yes,
how.
but it needs the mother to do that.
Yes.
It's not independent. It's not
yes.
independent.
Nobody said it was independent. It's an individual.
You said it was independent.
I said it was an individual. It's a separate being. These are two
Yeah.
separate entities. That doesn't mean they're independent of one another.
All
Sure.
right, the next person who wants to come up is ACC, I believe. Invite to speak. Come on up here, ACC.
Alright, I can't stay too long. I gotta go to work practically. But I'm gonna ask this to Silly Rose. What, like, you were questioned about whether or not when does personhood start, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you say it doesn't really matter if it doesn't really matter, it's about the woman's choice, right?
Sure.
Okay. I gotta ask, is it double homicide if I were to kill a pregnant woman?
I don't think so. No. Would it?
Really? So if I walk up to a pregnant woman and just start beating the shit out of her stomach, it's not, I kill the child that's inside of her. It's just an assault charge, right?
Well, that would be murder because.
Why?
Interesting.
Why would it be murder?
Good question.
True.
Good question. Yeah.
So
Do you have a
killing a
response
pregnant
to
woman
that?
or beating the shit out of her stomach, it's not murder. It's just an assault.
Well. Again, if we're talking about autonomy, a woman shouldn't have to have her pregnant stomach beaten if she doesn't want to. That's the
it's not a matter
crime
of
there.
autonomy.
It's like
It's a matter of the value of the human being that's inside of her. That's the matter here.
no,
We're
it's
discussing the legal
not.
thing.
It's no,
Absolutely.
it's not. It's about the autonomy of the mother. Are you kidding me?
We are discussing about whether or not whether it's a double homicide or not if this woman is killed with her child inside of her. That's the point. If you're making it about it's autonomy, it's not about autonomy. It's about value.
But
here.
if she wants to have the baby, like
Yeah, if she wants to have the baby, that's correct. It's completely fine. But the thing is, it's a matter of the value right now. You're saying they have no value at all. It's about autonomy. But when it doesn't matter if they violate the autonomy here or not. The problem is if you have someone who beats the shit out of her stomach, to you, that baby inside of them has no rights, zero rights. They don't have rights at all. They're not protected under law. That's what you're arguing, or that's a consequence of your view, at least.
well, not really, because if the mother's body is protected, then the baby's body will be protected too, will it not?
Well, it absolutely isn't, considering abortion still exists now, does it?
Okay, ACC, I'll give you the chance to ask one more question, and then we'll have to get somebody else in here.
No, honestly, I gotta go. It's good. See ya.
Ace. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. So, so you seriously just consider that assault? Yeah. Would you?
I mean, you are killing the fetus. I don't like.
Okay.
Are we talking from a moral standpoint or like a
any
legal standpoint? Because
From
like I
literally
don't know.
from a moral. Let's go from a moral standpoint and a legal standpoint. We can go through both because both come to the same result. Okay. If you
Well,
have
from a legal standpoint, it probably is.
Whoa. Okay. When you are killing something, okay, in the womb that is separate from that thing, and we have
Well,
decided
you're not killing. When you give an abortion, you're not killing the fetus in the womb. You're just removing the fetus from the womb, which
Okay.
will lead to its death.
No, I'm talking about if you beat the shit out of a woman, right, and it leads to the pregnancy failing. Not that she's been removed, as in like she literally has been like the child's been beat to death essentially, right? But it's still a fetus, right? Would you still seriously just consider that assault?
I would consider it a killing, definitely. I would
Okay,
consider it
why
an
is it a
unjustified killing.
Why is it a killing if it's not a person? Why would we charge for that?
Well,
That makes no sense.
What are you talking about? Like,
If you-
that
if you
that
think-
literally doesn't
if
make any
you-
sense.
If I
beat up a pregnant woman with
If you think that a fetus is not a living organism in the sense that it does not have that autonomy, right? Or it doesn't have that ability to decide for itself that, like, it doesn't even have a conscious
it doesn't
experience.
have the ability to decide.
Right, it doesn't
Yeah,
have the
like it
ability
doesn't have
to-
a conscious
this-
experience.
If it literally doesn't like exist as like a person, why would we charge someone as if they broke the laws of nature and killed a person.
What,
Like, do you
laws
like
of
do you understand what I'm
nature?
getting at?
What do you
As
mean
in,
by
like,
laws of?
there are inherent rules that we follow, as in, like, don't murder people. That would be a case where he broke that law by killing the fetus.
Are we talking about the law, or are we talking about like some code of moral ethics?
It's it could be either. You could literally pick either, and it would be about the same.
Man, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Could you start over?
Okay, if you beat the shit out of a pregnant woman and the fetus dies, would you charge that as a murder? You said yes. So I'm asking if the mother is still
Honestly,
alive.
after having this conversation with you, I think I'm gonna rescind that and say no.
Okay, so you don't think it's murder.
It's certainly assault.
Okay, so if I have a question. If you had a man who was a fetus that was conscious, had a heartbeat, all of the attributes of a person, but was still in a womb,
So
would
like
you
after
consider
24
that
weeks or
murder?
something like that?
Once those qualities are fulfilled, right? It doesn't have to be after a set point, right? It's just whenever they reach that developmental phase. Would you consider that murder if the same situation happened?
I believe, like, I'm pretty sure you're talking about the 24-week mark. I just want to make sure you are.
It literally doesn't matter. Whenever they have a heartbeat, a consciousness, and an ability to be conscious. Okay, I don't understand.
Yeah,
how
I'm pretty
fetus
sure
is considered a
I'm pretty
fetus.
sure that's why they use the 24-week as the thing, is because that's when that stuff starts happening. No.
Okay, sure. I mean, you could just answer the question instead of getting bogged up in whether it's 24 weeks or not. But sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm asking that because like it probably would be murder then. Yeah, at that point.
Okay, why is that different? What about that makes it different?
Well,
right?
but
It's
well,
still
because
it's still a fetus,
the
right?
the fetus has what's that word? Sentience. It has sentience at that point.
Okay, so sentience is what matters then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end, like, again, once a fetus has reached the point of sentience, you can pretty much safely remove it without killing it.
Okay, so if you value sentience, why do you value that sentience? What makes that a core value to you?
Well, I don't know. It just like
It just feels good.
when you
or-
beat up a dog, it doesn't feel nice. You feel
because there's
bad
a
for the dog.
principle- right? Because there's a principle you're breaking there, right? Which in my
Yeah,
case
but
would be
it's a
non-aggression,
it's a
but yeah.
sentient. No, it's not because of a principle I'm breaking. It's because I'm hurting another sentient creature.
Which falls under a principle being that I shouldn't hurt other creatures without a reason to do so. Yeah,
That's
the
more like
principle.
that's empathy.
Which is
That doesn't
which is born out
necessitate
through
a principle.
principles.
Like I could just be a dumb psychopath who feels bad when I beat up stuff and then just continue beating stuff up, right?
Do you see how far we've had to stretch it to prove that it isn't murder, it's just assault? We're deadass talking about psychopathic murderers who think that maybe, just maybe, that not killing. Like I don't understand what you're getting at, right? If you value sentience,
well, for like
and your example of-
it's quite different if you're not the pregnant person. You see, that makes a huge difference, right?
neither of us are the pregnant person, so I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the okay?
Like me. Like, if I'm pregnant, it's my body I'm making the decision for. Like,
not.
I'm not
No,
just
it's
picking
not.
for the baby,
It's
I'm
not.
picking for me.
It's not. That's not true, right? Like it's an own
What?
separate being. Yes, a fetus is not part of the mother, right? Do you acknowledge
Yeah, but
that?
it's attached to the mother. Like, it's literally
It's
attached to the mother.
It's attached the same way that a 4-year-old's attached to a mom, right?
No, it's not.
It's dependent on the
A
mother.
4-year-old is
Yes.
not attached to a mom in the same way a
Not
fetus is. Are you
physically,
insane?
but in every other sense, it is. When it comes
No,
to
it's not in every other sense.
Do you think that a 4-year-old can cook for themselves and have a job?
You could teach a 4-year-old to cook for itself, but I'm gonna
Are
say
you
no to the
serious?
job
Are
thing.
you actually serious?
Yes, you could totally teach a 4-year-old to cook.
Okay, so just to clarify, your position is that a 4-year-old isn't dependent on a mother because you could teach it how to
Well, a
cook
4-year-old
and
is
have
dependent.
a job.
You're so mischaracterizing this argument right now. Are you serious?
You literally just said that your response to me talking about how location doesn't matter, which is what I was getting at, is that you're now getting to the point where you're saying that 4-year-olds are not dependent on the mother.
What do you mean location doesn't matter?
Because they're still both dependent on the mother. Without the mother, they're both fucked.
What if they have a father?
What?
What if the
Hello?
child has a father? The child's not fucked if they have a father.
Do fathers
Fathers
get
cook for their
pregnant?
children.
Can fathers get pregnant?
No.
So then it's not
Exactly.
analogous,
That's
is it?
exactly my point. What do you mean? A child is a born child isn't necessarily dependent on the mother because it can be dependent on the father too. A fetus is solely dependent on the mother.
So
Am I still there?
no, you're still here.
Okay.
I just had to think about how insanely ridiculous that was instead of addressing how the obvious assumption was that a mom is necessary for a fetus to grow, and then additionally, a child outside of the womb is still dependent on the mother. You decided
What
to
if the
jump
child
to,
has two
what if he has a
dads?
father? That's not possible. Biologically, it's not possible.
But you're comparing raising a child to having a child. Do you understand the difference here? I can adopt a child and still raise it. I don't need to give birth to the child.
I mean, you kind of need a mom in order to have a kid. So, I mean, yeah, true. Yes, I would make that argument. Yes. You
What?
cannot have two. Do you think that two men can get pregnant? Hello? Like, what the fuck is this? What is this line of questioning?
You're actually like mentally brain damaged. Holy shit.
You're asking me if two dads can raise a kid when we're talking about an
Yes!
abortion debate.
Yes, of course they can.
That is, we're not even at that yet, dog. We're literally still talking about whether it. I honestly, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about at this point because you're bringing up two dads and other shit like that, which makes literally no sense. It's
You're
irrelevant to this
you're
conversation.
saying a baby is you're saying an unborn baby is dependent on the mother the same way a born child is dependent on the mother. That's not true because not all born children have mothers or are dependent on their mothers.
In the sense that they are dependent, but you're
What?
gonna say no because, well, all right, you know what? Fine, take the father out of the equation. You just have a mother. It's a single mother. Does that help it or no?
No, because you're
Oh
you're
my
just
god. How does that
you're
not
not
help it?
you're not
Please.
engaging with my hypothetical at all.
It was my hypothetical that I've had to change because you're trying to weasel your way out of just saying that yes, fetuses and children are dependent
No,
on their
you're
mom.
using shitty analogies.
Because every time I've directly asked you about this, you've been like, "Well, can you restate that?" So like, I don't know where to
Yes,
get
it's
that.
called a clarifying question, my dude.
Right, and this is the way of me trying to clarify it because you are not like you don't have the maturity to go like big boy pants and address the question head on.
That's literally what I'm doing, my dude. I guess we're just not going anywhere with this.
Okay, you know what? Let's get rid of
Alright.
the analogy then.
We're gonna
That's-
bring somebody up actually, because
Oh my
we've had a
God.
few people who've been wanting to come up. Wozniak, he actually came from YouTube chat. Welcome
boy.
to the server. Welcome to the channel.
What's up?
State your question. Who's it for?
Well, yeah. I have like two questions. First, some ground questions. If either of you would either of you admit to be wrong? Like, if one was convinced by the other, would you say, "Oh, you got me, dude. I guess you're right."
Yes.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Okay. Now I want to get back to worth. Now, I wasn't here the full stream, so real quick, Rose, do you think human worth is determined by consciousness or reason or self-awareness, something along those lines?
I believe it's self-determined.
What do you mean self-determined?
Like we just determine it for ourselves.
Okay, well, what do you think, Water? Do you think it's just because you're human you have worth, or is it because consciousness or reason?
I think life itself just has worth inherently, right? Like human life has a value. It's through the experiences, through the autonomy, like the ability to choose. Like humanity is such a unique species that it's hard to say that it doesn't have a unique value that's somewhat higher above other animals.
Right. Do you agree with that, Rose?
No.
I don't think
We're
so.
we're not better than other animals. We just got the
think
best
so.
brains. That it just turned out that way.
Right. That would make us
Fundamentally, we're
in
no
this
better
sense.
than other creatures.
That's not true. But
Sure.
I mean, okay. If you want a monkey to do math, then I guess that's you. You can do that. Like if that's what you're trying to get at.
That's
But
not at
So-
all what I'm trying to say.
You're saying is the only difference between us and other earthly creatures is the fact that we are smarter? Is that what you're saying, Rose?
More
to
or
call-
less, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, Water, you're saying that we are better or superior because not only because our capacity to reason, but because we have, you said, the soul, which would be two wheels, right? The lower wheel and the higher wheel, and they're in conflict, and we are creatures that can mediate through both. That's what you're saying. It's
Yes.
part of what gives us worth.
yes.
Okay. So I wouldn't. You said, Rose. You said, we determine our own value. You mean we as a society or we as an individual? So I can say, oh, I'm worthless if I
Well,
make that statement of
It's like
Wait, let me- if I make
let's
that
say
statement
let's say I like pigs. Like I think pigs are valuable to society. They're great at smelling things. We should totally own them as pets and stuff. Well, that's like the value I'm assigning to a pig. However, you're also going to have like a factory farm whose the value of a pig to them is like probably like $100 a pig or something, right?
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, animals should be respected and treated accordingly. Now, I want to get back to it because I don't think So you think human worth is decided by society, not by our individuals? Is that correct? Like, if I say I'm worthless, I can be wrong about that statement of myself. Correct or not?
That's a good question. Sorry, could you repeat it again for me?
Okay. If you said we humans define our own value, if you mean individually
Oh, or like collectively.
or collectively, yes.
To be honest, man, I'm gonna have to say I don't know to that one.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Well,
Man, Chad is so
All
fucking
right.
pissed at me.
Wozniak, I'll let you get one more question to one or both of these people, and then we'll move on.
yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, the stream just popped out on my feed, so I was like, oh, let me hop on.
W.
Welcome to the server. Welcome to the YouTube.
I guess another cool. No, I don't have. I don't have any more questions. Yeah, because if we don't agree on human worth, we cannot agree on anything. So yeah, thank you for having me.
All right,
I
thank
suppose
you.
not.
Cool.
All right. We are gonna get Mythic Spider up here. He has been
Yes.
he's been the next one who's wanted to speak. Mythic.
Hello.
Oh boy.
Hello.
All right.
What's your question? What you gotta ask? What's the train of thought? Where are we at? What's happening?
Okay. So we're gonna back up because not a single point by either side has been effectively articulated, made, or even debated, let alone explained. This entire thing.
Agreed.
I would
I
ask,
did terrible.
hold on. I would ask that either we revisit the previous analogy laid out by Water, or that you re-ask one of these questions, and we attempt to, as a trio, because clearly 2 is not enough for this equation, to
True.
actually debate one of your questions.
Sure.
So I asked of the 2, would you rather revisit pregnant lady analogy or get a restated question?
I
Wh-
am
Which
down for
pregnant lady
either.
analogy?
The one where you beat the hell out of the kid and like.
Oh, yeah,
Is
sure.
it-
Give us a new
yeah.
analogy.
I was asking for the previous one.
Oh, before that.
Yeah. Fuck
So
it.
Mythic
what?
is asking, should we revisit that hypothetical, or should we, or what was it? Move on to a restated question. Was that what it was?
I
Yes.
have no preference.
Yes.
Personally.
Okay, so I think let's just do that second one. Let's do the restated question. Just go ahead and we'll
Let's go with that, Mace.
Yeah.
If you could be so kind, Mace. Your pick. I don't remember some of them.
Oh, I mean, screw it. Pregnant
Yeah.
lady analogy.
Sorry, my.
All
Yeah,
right.
plan B. We'll go down that route.
Hat plan
Alright,
B. I
plan
get it.
B. Okay. So the full question on that was, I'm asking you guys this. Jesus.
Oh, I believe the question was if if I assault a pregnant lady and I destroy her fetus, is it counted as murder? I believe that was the prompt.
That's what I'm pretty sure it is too. I think.
Okay.
Yes, that
Then let's
is. What,
fucking explore this. So, both of your positions on this. Restate if you would be so kind.
Yeah. So my position is that it's murder because you were killing an individual living being. Right. That's my position. Simple as that.
Okay. Rose.
After having this whole debate and thinking about it more, I would say it depends on the development of the fetus. Like Water said, if its heart is beating and it's having sentience, yeah, I probably would consider that murder. But before that point, probably would just consider it assault.
Okay. So, I know that while he asked you this, the actual process of getting an answer was deeply confusing to me and the other viewers, as I saw in chat. So, I'm going to ask again, and I'm going to properly attack it this time. What exactly qualifies the pre-heartbeat fetus as something that is only qualifying of an assault charge if terminated by an assaulter versus the one with a heartbeat? Because while I know, of course, there's a heartbeat, does that explain how that automatically makes the one that was going to have a heartbeat anyways less inherently valuable?
I'm sorry. I should have went with the heartbeat thing. I should have just said sentience. I'm sorry about that.
Either way, just apply the same words to what I've just asked. How does a pre-sentient that's going to become sentient have less value than a sentient? Give me a reason.
I mean, fundamentally, it doesn't. I mean, fundamentally, no life has value. So, like, I don't
Oh,
really know
yeah,
where you're
there we
going
go.
with this.
Jesus Christ.
Oh wait. So you thought no life had
Defend your
value?
point.
All of that about like Jesus Christ. Never mind.
Fundamentally,
What do you believe in the circumstance? This is the debate. You are to provide the defense for your fundamental beliefs. What is your, Jesus?
like what? Like I don't understand what I'm defending here. Like what does
Your
this question
opinion.
accomplish?
Originally, it was supposed to accomplish having any actual point either in defense or against your belief made, but at this point, I think it's more of a point to your very Very, very clear lack of reason to be here, but I'll try and restate, I suppose. Okay, why do you believe that a pre-sentient, and I'm stressing, why do
Because
you
it doesn't have
believe,
sentience.
okay,
What?
so it's gonna have sentience in a very short period of time. What is the reason that a pre-sentient that will develop sentience on the path it is in, regardless of what happens, unless it is outside caused, have less value than a current sentient? What is your actual
Because
reason?
it doesn't have sentience yet.
What is it?
What makes that inherently less valuable? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. That's the point at which it comes down to like a self-determination.
Can't even debate one of the biggest fucking harkening points of abortion. Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. Water. I'm going to attack your point. Let's go.
Go for
What makes either of okay, now fuck it. Why is the pre-sentient? I want you to break down why this pre-sentient holds the same value as the current sentient.
It doesn't. In the sense that, like, it does
Okay.
on a fundamental level, but when it comes to it, if I had to save one or the other, I'd probably save the mother, 100%. Right? Like, if it came down to it, I would save the mother of the fetus, because it has that conscious experience that goes along with it. It's adding value to something that already has value, right? If that answers
Okay.
it.
What?
So
What do you
just
mean,
to
what?
clarify with you, Mace, I am very tired right now, but when this question was restated, this was in relation to damage done to the fetus, not the mother, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
So then I will simply ask, how does any of that apply in this context in the slightest, my friend? Because you have just stated that you would save the life of the mother in the circumstance that the mother is not at risk. I'm deeply confused as to how that supports your point.
The point there is that that's showing that there is a certain. I don't value the two in the same way, right?
No, it's not what I was asking. Provide your
literally,
valuing
that's
for the
literally what
smaller.
you. That's quite literally what you started the question off with. Since you value the two, so, like, why do you value the
I
two
was
the
referring
same
to.
way?
I said the two in reference were the heartbeat and the non-heartbeat, the sentient and the pre-sentient that I had just discussed with Rose.
Mhm.
So fine, let's restate. I ask again with that in mind.
Uh,
Why are either of
re-
you debating this?
What? Can you re-ask the question instead of acting
I
like
just wanted to
superior
get
and
in
just
debate for
ask it?
fun.
Like,
This is
Jesus
my first
Christ.
debate, so
Oh, wait, you
please.
literally said you're gonna reset the question. Reset the question. Hello.
Yeah, restate the question. Fine. What makes a pre-sentient infant, if that's the right word, no, fetus, sorry, English, pre-sentient fetus, maintain any value on the same level as a currently sentient one that is past the 22-week mark? Because if memory serves, you are in favor of the murder charge upon the smashing of said fetus. Why? Because it is not technically alive. Provide the reasoning for that. That was the question.
Okay. So I don't even know how to respond to that because again, I've already clarified that I don't believe that they have the same value. You keep like saying that over
Okay.
and over.
What value
again.
does it hold? That's
It
harder
val-
than the murder
so
charge.
they both have. So the reason why it's a murder charge is they're both alive, right? I don't value them the same way, right? But they still would classify under murder, right? That doesn't mean I value them in the same way, right?
Okay.
Killing Hitler, right, in like 1922 would have been murder, but that doesn't mean that I don't support that murder, right?
Actually, it would have been suicide. Sorry, small joke.
Okay, then in such case, we can go somewhere with this, actually. Because if memory serves, once more, actually, tell me if I'm wrong, you did say it was a murder charge that you believe that person should get if they killed the pre-sentient.
Yes.
Okay, so, how does that work? I don't know.
Because they're both still life. I don't
Okay.
understand what. Yeah, so
No, I'm
murder is
asking the-
termination of life, right? Unjustly, right? I would say this
Exactly.
is unjust cessation of life, right? I don't see what isn't following here.
I understand your reasoning, but we are streaming, so I'm just asking for you to break down the sentience thing, because I know, I'm assuming at least, your point is what I'm thinking, but what is... Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, the
Are you
reason
in a
is.
cave?
Huh?
Oh, you're probably playing a game. Never mind.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I just got
I'm
knocked
hearing
off
like
that.
water dripping in a cave. Is that? Never mind. Sorry,
okay.
distracting. Forget
Sorry,
me.
what was the question? I just got way thrown off by that.
That kind of blitzed me as well, but if memory serves, it was... yes, I just want you to break down your reasoning, because I do think I know, but we are streaming, your reasoning of why that pre-sentience holds the value of life, because a lot of people define pre-sentience as not life.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So life, for me, life begins at conception because this is not only these are living organisms, like living cells, right? That form a collective that are going to eventually become a human being, as we all know it. Right. It is a human, right? But it doesn't have the traits of personhood, right? Is what I mean by that, right? So it has all of the qualities that of something that's going to become human, and if you continue the process, it's going to become a human. So I don't see why we should cut the process because it's alive for all intents and purposes. The cells are alive. It's going to be a person, right? I don't. Yeah, that'd be my argument. I guess it's because you can prove that it's alive and that you can't prove it's not alive.
Okay, I understand that. Rose, do you have any contentions with that? As that is kind of the antithesis to pro-choice, in a sense.
Holy shit, I'm so sorry. I was completely zoned out for all of that.
He has stated that a pre-sentient, pre-heartbeat, all of that, is something that is alive and holds value that I'm going to assume, but
Yeah.
feel free to jump in and correct me immediately, Water, holds value that should mean that unless you're in case of risk to mother, which is an exception I know me and him hold very dear, it should not be terminated.
Oh.
I
So basically the question is, even if it's not at a risk to the mother, should it still be terminated?
Yes, I'm asking that to you.
Oh, absolutely. If she wants to terminate it, I mean, absolutely. If she doesn't, then no, she should have the baby.
Okay, so you agree that it is... Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm fucked up because I am tired. So his point is that it is alive and should not be... Why? Because you provided you provided your answer, but why do you think that?
Oh, why do I think the woman should be able to still get the abortion?
Yes, in the circumstance that it's alive, it's not at risk to them. It's so on
Well,
and so forth.
she shouldn't have to deal with the like pregnancy does certain things to your body. I'm sure you might know. So you shouldn't
I'm a
have to
father,
deal with
I am.
that kind. You shouldn't have to deal with that kind of stuff if you don't want to. First off. Well,
Okay.
actually, no. That's like the number one key reason. I suppose the number two reason would be just like if you can't financially support a baby, I don't see a justifiable reason to bring a new life into a world if you can't support it.
Okay.
That's why adoption exists, but sure.
I was going to say, hold on, yeah.
But the
You
adoption
live in
system
Canada.
sucks.
Hold on, you live in Canada, yes?
Yeah.
I heard that stated once. Okay, so out of the New World, not Europe, frankly, the funding difference is too big to compare. Canada has a more than acceptable, compared to your South American friends, fosterage system. While it is not at all what I would call a great system, I do believe that myself and Water would hold the position that it is better that the child gets to live and be put into an adoption center than to not live. What's your reasoning for not, why are you against? Because I heard you claim it sucks.
This goes back to having to not deal with the backlash of pregnancy being the number one reason. Because
Okay.
at the end of the day, the person who is the pregnant person shouldn't have to be pregnant if they don't want to. They shouldn't have to undergo the effects of pregnancy, etc.
All right. So we've already entered restating territory, so I'll keep going. Then in that case, I know it's been discussed, but I think it was misunderstood by both parties, so let's go back. When one engages in sexual activity, I already know your understanding of that. Explain to me how having sex somehow makes it so that if pregnancy does resolve, they did not, in some way, cause is the wrong word, consent to it. And obviously, I'm not referring to will be discussed at a later time, as we have two very different categories. So a consensual sexual moment that creates a child. Explain to me why that should not be viewed as something to be upheld if the mother doesn't want to. As well, yes, she has those health risks. She did make the choice to have sex. I just want a convincing argument as to how that is null and void.
Can you make that more concise, please?
Okay. If somebody has...
Oh wait, were you asking Water?
No, I was asking you.
Oh
yeah,
okay.
no,
I thought you were asking
I
me.
just wanted to make sure that it wasn't. I'm sorry. I heard the silence. I was like,
I thought
Yeah.
it was
Could you please make it a bit more concise?
All right. When somebody, in simpler terms, when a woman engages in sexual intercourse, they are consensually engaging in sexual intercourse. Is another topic. Explain to me how your position of they did not consent to the pregnancy. How does that work? Because unless you literally actually no, let's just stick to the basics. How is it that consenting to sex is not consenting to pregnancy? I want to understand your logic for that because I didn't quite understand how you explained it originally.
Well, because you can use contraception.
Okay, but that doesn't change.
Obviously, you would be consenting to the possibility of a pregnancy happening, but I still don't see why, if a pregnancy does happen, you should have to follow through. You know what? I don't really understand the question in that regard.
Okay, that was just a clarifying point. So this is actually going to harken back to you in a second, Water. I am confused as to then. So you've said they're consenting to the possibility of pregnancy. So why is it they're consenting to a possibility doesn't hold weight? Because you do believe they're consenting to something. Is the consent to possibility somehow less valuable than consenting to it in general? Because they know it can happen, and if it happens, they made the choice in this circumstance. Why does it hold no value anymore? This was meant for you, Rose. Jesus.
Oh, this one for me? Sorry. You said Water at the beginning, so I wasn't listening to what you
back
asked.
to in a moment, because it will swing around.
Oh, okay. Crap. Well, I didn't listen to you that time, because I thought you were talking to Water.
Okay. When You have already agreed that consensual sex does consent to the possibility of pregnancy. How does that consented possibility of pregnancy not withhold Water's point of consenting to it? Because while it is not consenting to the guarantee of it, that doesn't change the fact you are consenting to the possibility of it. And thus, if it happens, you have consented to it. How does that no longer upheld?
I mean, well, sure, you're consenting to the possibility of getting pregnant, but I don't see what that has to do with consenting to going through with your pregnancy. Like this seems like two separate instances.
Okay, when you consent to engage in an activity that will, in a correct circumstance, lead to something else, even if it's by chance, legally and otherwise, it has always been recognized that if you consent to A, you have consented to B. I'm asking as to how you have justify why that doesn't work, because that's what you're trying to disprove. You've said that's wrong. That doesn't make sense. Why? Because I don't understand why you think that.
Why? Well, I need to understand why you think it would make sense. That's what I'm not understanding. Like to me, that just doesn't make sense from the get-go. Like I can't logic to that point. I need to understand what your logic is here.
My logic is kind of what was already stated. It's the same as Waters. When one consents to sex, they are consenting to the possibility of pregnancy. And just as every other
Yeah, sure. But once the person is pregnant, that's a different story. Is it not?
That's what I'm asking. How does that change from point A to point B? Because it's on the same track, it's in the same area, literally.
Well,
what changes?
If I'm having sex with my partner and I accept the possibility that I could get pregnant, that's not the same as me accepting the possibility that I could get pregnant and will have to deliver the child, right? That's just pregnancy on its own.
Yes. What is removing them? My claim is that they're connected. They are one and the same because they are connected to the same track. They lead and are one and the same to each other. I don't understand what you're distincting. Yes.
That's the problem with your proposition here is that they're not the same.
Okay. So that still doesn't. Okay. Fuck it. Let's just keep going. Then I ask to you, Water.
Okay.
Because fuck it. Why not? Let's see if you can bamboozle me. How are they connected?
They are connected because when it's like saying that, okay, I'm consenting to the car crash, but I'm consenting to what happens after the car crash. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, I get that. I understand that, right? But like, if you're going to take on that risk, you have to understand that that risk is going to have consequences, and you can't just avoid the consequences because you didn't want to take the consequences. It's like, okay, yeah, sure.
But getting an abortion isn't avoiding the consequences. It's dealing with the consequences.
The consequence is being pregnant.
It's dealing with the consequences.
No, it's getting rid of it entirely.
It's dealing with the consequences of pregnancy.
It's getting rid of it. Yeah.
It's a way to deal with it.
No, you're just getting rid of it, right? You're not like making a deal. You're just getting rid of it.
So I'll start one at a time here because this is something interesting. Rose, how is it dealing with the consequences instead of just removing them? Because you're removing the pregnancy, you're terminating it.
Removing it is how you're dealing with it.
Okay, but how is that not avoiding responsibility in any capacity that you made a consented choice and resulted in something?
Because if the child is never born, then there's never a responsibility. What do you mean?
So that that applies to the pre-sentience, I suppose. But now I would ask, would you apply that to a currently sentient child?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Maybe I mean no. You say if I do or I don't.
Do you apply the same grounds to a currently sapient fetus, 24 weeks plus, more like 22?
As a born child?
I don't think survival rate for that's like fucking 10%. No, it is in the womb still. It has heartbeat. It is considered to have sentience according to basically every scientific understanding that I've ever read, left-leaning or right-leaning. Okay. Does that standard apply then? Because you spoke on responsibility. Well, responsibility would theoretically have to clock in at when that child. If you were
responsible with your abortion, you probably would have got the abortion before the 24-week point.
Okay, so I have had my wife has been pregnant twice and is carrying to term this time. Have to say, one does not immediately know they are pregnant. Depending on the timing, it can be upwards of a month. That's 4 weeks down the drain. Even then, some particularly irresponsible ones, which frankly you do have to take into account for in any debate like this because they're the majority of the population, it can go up to 8 to 9 weeks. And then scheduling that and everything else, particularly in the United States, can significantly add more time to that. You can claim your responsibility all you wish, but that doesn't change the fact that there will be people that end up in that situation. I ask, once more, does your logic of it not being their responsibility apply to that situation? That child that is sentient, very clearly, of that mother, why does she have no responsibility over it? It's alive, might not be born, but it's crossed exhaust every threshold science has for being a child.
Well, I suppose at that point she would, because if she got the abortion, the baby would probably get put up for adoption, would it not?
An abortion is the termination of the pregnancy. A C-section would be the removal of the pregnancy.
An abortion is the removal of the fetus.
Okay, on paper, perhaps, but it's not medicinally practiced in that manner.
Like a
anywhere.
C-section is technically an abortion. Like
yes, but
technically.
Okay, fine. Let's play with it. Let's play with those words then. If you C-sectioned that child at 22, 24 weeks, survival chance is 5 to 15% at the best, so probably going to die anyways. But let's say it survives. Then we finally pass off underwater's logic. Adoption if you don't want it. But would the abortion be okay? Abortion such as a termination, would that be okay at that same interval in place of the C-section?
Well, obviously there's going to be a point where, like, obviously there's going to eventually be like a hard to say point. We decide 24 weeks specifically because that's when that point is probably going to happen.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, like,
because I did hear this mentioned earlier. A baby is only more likely than 20% to survive outside the womb at the 29 to 30 week plus mark. Like, we have yet to get to they have any real chance of survival on this conversation and a removal instead of a termination. And removal is often far riskier. So, like, how's this logic apply?
I actually didn't know that bit, so I'm gonna have to rethink it there. Thank you.
Okay, mine's being changed, I suppose. Water, as I've done with him, I shall now do with you. I am a little curious. What's your logic in the defense of? Well, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but it's only fair. Might as well run it just in case it might be different than I'm thinking. Let's start with the pre-sentient. In the case of no risk to mother, your grounds for no termination is
The grounds for that is it has inherent life or value as a life, right? If we accept that it is a human and it is alive and it has the potential for life and nothing will go wrong in that pregnancy, right? Because again, there's no risk to life in the mother, right? I don't see why we wouldn't grant that person the right to self-determination in the sense of like liberty, pursuit of happiness, etc., right? That just seems fair to me.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to not even bother with the actually sapient one because I believe it's actually illegal in general in every Western country to even terminate that. And you are going to be way hardliner than the law. So, well, actual points have been made. I might have changed a mind unless.
Yeah, actually, thank you so much for popping in. I actually really appreciate this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Floundered a little myself, but this is what happens when I try to multitask.
You know what?
I apologize.
You did very good. Honestly, you
did. I feel like you did better than both me and Water, to be honest.
It was valuable to have Mythic up here. I do have somebody else who wants to come up here. Thank you, Mythic. Also, server regular. He's on the YouTube channel too. So go check out the videos that he's in.
Yeah.
Is the gamer?
My pleasure. Both of you. Yes, it was him. Both of you. My apologies if I was getting a little harsh, but I will admit I was
harsh is what we need. Thank
irritated.
you.
Have a good day, both. Technically, it's midnight.
You have a fantastic day, man.
All right. Was it DKaz who was saying they wanted to come up next?
Ooh, DKaz. I saw your tweet yesterday.
All right, DKaz.
Oh, my audio.
What's your question? What's the train of thought? How do you want to? What kind of conversation do you want to have here with these two participants?
Cool. Thank you for having me up here. Firstly, I want to say that I am pro-abortion up until 8 weeks, which is around the time when the heart and the brain are developed. So I would think it would be immoral to abort that fetus after that. But I don't think under any circumstances should it be illegal because not solely because, but largely because I personally think that illegalizing abortion and criminalizing it is a right-wing push to control women's bodies, and they don't actually care about life. They just want to.
Oh hell no, they don't. That baby ain't got no social support once it comes out.
Oh yeah, exactly. And
Your world would be dead, but I mean, sure, yeah.
That brings me to my question, actually. Well, not really hypothetical, but I'll just say it. So basically, instead of terminating the let's say embryo or fetus, do you want to say embryo or fetus? I'll let you check.
What point is it an embryo? And
so from conception until around 10 weeks, it's considered an embryo.
Oh, so the zygote stage is part of the embryo stage. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So basically, do you want to say embryo or do you want to say fetus? A little bit older.
Oh, honestly, your pick, Deakus.
Okay, I'll make it a little bit easier. I'll say fetus. So
sure.
10 weeks up until birth. So would you support? On God, I love water.
Yep.
Would you support a movement to ban abortion, but But instead of forcing these unconsenting women to carry these fetuses, we instead, the moment you say you don't consent to that being inside of you, we take the being out and we pour however much money into it, government funded.
Like get a better life that's like viable outside like the woman's life, right? It's like it won't be part of the woman's life. It'll be able to exist. Yeah, and like separate of the mother. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, because we have the technology to keep a fetus alive outside of the mother.
I believe I asked this question already.
Yes, yes, right. Because again, I would prefer that they have the ability to live life as a normal person, and that's my contention with abortion is that it doesn't give them any opportunity at all. Period.
And you'd be okay with that being government funded?
I don't see why I wouldn't be okay with it. Yeah.
Okay, that's all. That's all I wanted to ask. Cool.
That's
Based.
cool. Based. Yeah, based.
Most people, right? They're against the idea of it being government funded, which is a contradiction. In which I would have called you on that, but
Yeah. I gotta say, man, you're not a hypocrite. I gotta appreciate that about you, Water.
yeah, water's awesome. Okay, bye.
All right, bye, D-Gus.
All right, is there anybody else that would like to come up here? I feel like we're kind of getting somewhere. What do we think the main contention is between the two of you right now? Like, what is the argument here? Like, I'm trying.
I feel like for Water, it's the Water values the potential life, and I just value like the pre-existing life. I think that's what it seems to come down to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think that I don't think I don't value the pre-existing life. I don't think I've ever said that in this conversation, but sure.
Okay.
Like
I've actually
I mean to say like the life that's currently living.
right. I both of them are, so that's not really.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'm not saying you care more about the potential life than the currently living. I'm sorry. You give those equal value, and I don't. I think that's what.
I don't give them equal value.
point of contention is.
I quite literally said the
Oh.
opposite. Yeah,
Oh.
I said that they have value in the sense that they both are living beings, right? But the difference is that one has a sentient experience, which does add value to it, right? But if it comes down to it, that doesn't just because one has more value doesn't mean that the other one has no value.
I mean, I agree with that much. Sure. Yeah.
Right. So under that premise, then you shouldn't be for abortion.
Why? But
Because-
I care more about the life existing currently.
Right. Doesn't mean you don't have to not care about the other one, right? And that's why I don't think we should just fucking kill it. I think we should provide adequate services to provide a life that's worth living instead of just aborting it. You know what I mean?
Like I get what you mean. I just disagree.
You disagree that we should give lives worth living to babies that would be killed otherwise.
You first off, you don't even know if they're worth living. Who are you to determine that?
That's why we're trying to give them one. That's why I said trying to. Right?
Especially in a world that doesn't, like people are just poor as shit. Like
Right. Okay. Is this just like a prenatal argument where it's like, okay, well, actually, how could you possibly know? I mean,
yeah,
I guess
exactly. How could you possibly know that kid could grow up to be like famous. They could grow up to be the next like Hitler, dude. You don't know.
Yeah, that's true. It's possible. I don't think that justifies killing the life, though, just to be sure. Don't think that's fair.
I agree with that, but that applies in reverse, too.
Demonstrate it.
Like I can't prove that person is gonna turn out to be the next, like, Zoran Mondani, right?
Okay,
like,
no one said that he had to be a next famous person, right? It's all up to them to be what they want to be, right?
Yeah,
but like, by killing them, you've taken away that choice. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, but like I this is sounding bleak, but like for me, oftentimes, especially in poor families, you don't have many choices to begin with, and your choices are going to be only further decreased with another child in the family.
Right.
Because you have more money you need to divvy out now.
Right, you can just give the child up for adoption. Yes, it's an infinitely better solution than just killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Just ignore all the stuff about the consequences of pregnancy, man. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All
wait.
right,
Let's talk about the consequences. No, hold on, Mason. No, hold on. I want to hear this.
I'll let you go.
Let me at it. All right. What about a pregnancy do you think justifies killing a life? What about the changes to a woman's body justifies killing a life?
Getting depression for like the rest of your life. That's a pretty big one.
Okay, that's almost true. You almost made a true point there. That's not what happens. It's very, very short term, right? Relatively.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it can be. It can be anywhere from life to short term.
Yeah, that's true. And the life ones are like 0.001%. You're making a law that's determined
There's no
by,
way
like,
that's true. My mom has
What do you mean? Yeah, I'm sure
there's no way my mom is 0.001%.
That's what everyone thinks. Yeah, sure. That's literally what. That's yeah, like that. Yeah, welcome to the world, I guess. Yeah, like nobody wants to be the 0.01% who gets fucked over. But like it happens. Like I don't know what you say. Like it's such a ridiculously low amount of people that like it's here. Actually, let's pull up the exact stat.
There's other disadvantages too, like your
How
muscles
long-
become
If you send
weaker.
it in the
Guys,
chat, I can
post-
I can pull it up as well.
I got you. Post pregnancy depression last. Yeah, it like the most is like 3 years. 3 years seems to be the pretty commonly accepted number. Yeah, I'll pull it up in Discord. Yeah, like this idea that it's like lifelong is like ridiculous. Or like it is in the majority of cases, lifelong is ridiculous. Yeah.
There's other postpartum complications you can get too, though. I've
I'm
just
sure,
looked up a
right,
list
we're
here.
fine.
Like, you're more susceptible to blood and cardiovascular diseases. You're more susceptible to infections such as sepsis. Heavy bleeding after giving birth called hemorrhage. I'd expect that one.
Yes, that's why you have to
A
be medically
disease-
treated for that one. Yeah.
A disease of the heart muscle called cardiomyopathy. This
Yeah,
condition makes it hard to pump for the heart to pump blood to the rest of the body.
Yes.
See, this is like, what about this one? This seems like a big one here. Is this worth risking having a child
think
or
that-
being forced to carry a child?
Do you think that having chest problems, potentially, not even guaranteed, right? Because these are all risks, right? Which are all incredibly low risk in Western countries, at least. Do you think that's worth killing a life? Again, because you have to balance it against killing a life, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I do. Okay, interesting take. So how does that work out then? I guess how does that work out? If do you think that having chest problems means that you should be able to kill someone, right? Like if I had a machine, right, and it gave you chest problems, right, but like it's all treatable, right? And the difference is that you would have to kill me inherently. It's been forced, right? I didn't make the machine. I have no part in making the machine, right? But it's forced upon the both of us, right? Do you think that I should be killed in order to save you from the chest problems that may or may not even happen? Because again, it's a chance. It's not guaranteed.
No, but that's because you're a sentient creature.
Okay, so sentience does matter. So again,
Well, sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. That's because you're a born creature. Let's just go with
Okay,
born
so-
at this point.
So
Those-
your destination matters. Where you're at physically matters. Yeah.
It's just a matter of whether or not you have personhood, really. Like,
Well, I'm trying to figure out. what
I'm
your
just
definition
kind of like
personhood
going
is.
out.
Yeah, you're kind of like you're going with it.
Yeah,
I don't
sorry.
even know if you have
No,
a
you're
definition for
right. I have been completely flippy floppy about that. For the rest of the conversation, let's say personhood. Like obviously personhood is gradual, but I'm just gonna say at birth. Yeah.
At birth. Okay, why is it at birth though?
Well, because like that's the point of where it's completely independent from the mother. Like at that
It's
point,
not,
it no
though.
longer has to rely on.
It absolutely does though. Like for example, right?
But you
like,
can put it up for adoption.
Right, and then it becomes dependent upon someone else to take care of it. Yes.
Yeah, that's not the mother.
Okay, it's still dependent on a parental figure to take care of it.
What's your
I don't see
point?
The point there is that it's still dependent, right? Without something to take care of it, right? It's still going to be absolutely fucked, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, right. So if you had the ability to, and you consented to the ability that this might happen, how can you say that you aren't going to take the responsibility for it, even though you've already consented to the risk that you had when you had sex? Hello?
I mean, again, I've already explained to you that getting an abortion is one of the ways you deal with getting pregnant. You deal
Right,
with the
by
consequences of
terminating it.
having sex.
Right. Yes, I'm saying that you should
Yes.
deal with the consequences of it because you already consented to that, and your actions
Yes,
are negatively
but-
affecting someone else. Yes, You
Dude,
didn't
the
consent.
baby being born negatively affects the mother.
Yes, because she accepted that risk and responsibility when she had sex. Yes,
She didn't.
what do you mean she didn't? Yes, she
Wait,
did.
well, sorry. Again, accepting the risk of getting pregnant is not the same as
But at this point, okay, I get what you're saying, right? You can end the term. That's what the guys.
yeah, like
is,
I
right?
can end the
But
pregnancy.
The
Yeah.
problem with that is that you're ignoring that it's affecting another life. It's no longer just, okay, well, I don't really want to have a pregnancy. Kind of fucking sucks. I'm not going to have a pregnancy. Now it's, okay, well, I don't want to have a pregnancy, and I don't give a fuck if this life is viable. I don't care. It's being punished. for my
Why should
decision.
you care?
Because you have a responsibility to. If you're gonna
You
engage in
don't.
certain
You
actions,
don't fundamentally
you
have
do.
a responsibility to it.
You absolutely do.
You
If
you can
are-
you can be a garbage parent. I could have that kid and treat them like shit and never feed them and just leave them to die.
Yeah, but I would say that you're
Would,
failing
would
your
that be
responsibility.
better than
I'm saying
would that be better than
I'm
me
saying
getting an
that you're-
abortion?
I would say that you should probably put the kid up for adoption then if you're that fucking ill-tempered that you would treat your kid like shit because you couldn't get an abortion. Yeah, that's what I would say personally.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that seems pretty fair to me. Right?
Man, I think I'm good here. This like you're just ignoring points I've made earlier.
I'm not. No, you make a point. You move on to the next point without allowing me to address it because you don't want to explain your position. Because if you did, you would have to actually get into the epistemological reasons for why you like believe the things you do. But the problem is that like you've just been avoiding it, right? So when I say, for example, right, that you're affecting someone else, right? You are affecting someone else's well-being. You just completely ignore that and you move on to the next point.
It's not a but like you're presupposing it's a person when I don't consider it a person. You're not going to be able to convince me with that logic, dude.
Okay, what about it isn't a person? What about because again, we still haven't agreed on the definition because I asked you about it. And we haven't gotten there yet.
It's just human cells. Like it's just unconscious human
Okay,
cells.
what makes someone a person then?
Um.
Wait, so you
Okay.
Okay, yeah, go for it, please.
It's the it's having a collection. I think. Okay, you know what? I think the problem is I've been mixing up sentience with
So you have no
that
idea what
word meaning like
personhood
when you
is.
have memories.
So you don't even know what personhood is, and you just took a strong stance about how I got it wrong. Is that right?
I don't know.
It is, from what I'm observing, right? I just want to make sure that we both agree that you had no idea what I was talking about then, because you were talking about sentience. I was talking about personhood. So you
Yeah. Oh,
completely
yeah.
ignored
No,
that.
I did conflate those. I'm sorry about that.
You're good, but like I again, like you're taking really strong positions on this, and you're not even getting like the concepts right.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've gotten enough of the basic concepts down. Like what like
Well, I'm
again,
asking what personhood
if a woman doesn't want to deal with the side effects of pregnancy, shouldn't have to deal with pregnancy. Like
Well, I'm asking you, hold on a minute, because it's gonna wrap it around again to okay, but it's not a person, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm asking you, what makes someone a person? Because I have an answer for that. I don't think you do, which is why I'm really curious to see what your answer to that is. Because otherwise, I don't see how we can have a conversation where.
well,
one of
I
us
said it.
has
I
a
said it.
definition
I
and
said
one
it like
doesn't.
20 minutes ago, didn't I? When once it's independent from the mother. Which
Right, so-
when I say independent, I don't mean it relies for like feeding from the mother or like money or shit. I mean it doesn't need to suckle on a tube that connects it to the mother anymore for nutrients. That is what I
Okay.
mean.
Okay, so it's entirely based on location and the fact that it's physically attached to the mom, even though in every other aspect.
No, it doesn't,
fully
because
attached.
if
Yes,
it's
it
still a
is.
fetus and it's removed from the body, then it's just a dead fetus. That's not a person.
Right, because it's dead. You killed it. Yes.
Yeah.
You terminated its ability to be a person. Yes.
But it was never a person.
But we haven't even gotten there yet because you haven't even defined it. Besides that, it's well now you just did.
Like I said,
actually, yeah. Yeah, you just defined it,
once
yeah.
the baby is independent of the mother, that's when it has personhood.
Only physically. Why? So okay. So if I had a kid, right? If I was a mother and I had a kid and I left the kid on the side of the road, would you call that moral? Because it's
No.
not attached to me anymore. Okay. So why do I
No,
have to
because the kid is a
parent that?
person now.
Okay, so it's a person. So what if it didn't have a heartbeat and it was entirely incapable of living by itself? Okay, it was
mean,
disattached from the mother, but it wasn't. But it was born.
If it doesn't
right?
have a
It
heartbeat,
exited
it's
the
just
fetus.
kind of screwed. I mean, like, unless
It's
you can
screwed,
start
but I'm
a
asking you.
heartbeat.
Yes, you can keep it alive on a fake heart. Yes, that is the idea. Would it be moral for the mother to just leave the kid and say, "Yes, you can terminate it"?
Are we still assuming it's an unborn?
No, it's born. It just doesn't have the qualities of a
No,
person.
it would be immoral if it was already born.
Okay, so it doesn't seem to me that the location matters. It seems more so that the heartbeat matters and the
How?
sentience matters.
No.
Because if it was only
You're still using it being independent from the mother, and you're an example.
If it was only the fetus or fetus being outside of the womb or inside of the womb, then it doesn't make sense to why you would say no, it is immoral for the mother to abandon the child after that, because it doesn't matter. At that point, it's not attached to the mother, right? You have no responsibility to it because it's not even a person. It's not a person, right? It doesn't have the qualities of personhood, right?
Yeah.
Except that it's outside of the womb. That's it.
Wait. It
has
sounds like
no-
it sounds like you're just saying no to what I consider to be personhood.
Yes, because I'm contending that your definition of personhood is dog shit, respectfully.
Okay, ditto.
Like,
All right,
there's just
so
so many
I think,
better ways
I
to
think what we'll do right now is we'll bring Wozniak back up here because he was wanting to ask another string of questions, I believe. So
I'm about to get pwned by Wozniak again.
come on, Wozniak.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of. Never mind.
Hear me? Does the mic work? Yeah.
You're a little quiet, but yeah.
Yeah, you're quiet.
There you go. That should be better.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There we go, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you said you clearly you value choice of the mother over the the baby's life, right?
Well, over the unborn baby's life.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm echoing now. Are you able to fix that?
Yeah. Does that work?
Test. Good enough.
Okay. Okay. So you said, do you have like a limit of weeks, or you just said, hey, dude, the baby is not a person until it's born. You have
It's basically the baby's not a person until it's born.
Okay. Why do you value personhood over being a human?
God, how do I even articulate that? I mean, a person it has a. Typically, we associate being a person with having a conscious experience, like having a story, a past.
Wait, so just to be clear, it's not about
memories, a
being
way to
outside
connect
of
to the
fetus.
world.
Just to be clear, it's not about being outside of the fetus. It's about the sentience. Is what you're using now.
It's not about the sentience, though. It's about.
Then why'd you
It's
bring it
about
up?
having. It's not sentience, though. This is something else. This is like
Then why would you
having memories.
Okay,
Why would you bring it up?
let me pull up a definition of personhood and tell me if you agree with it. The nature of the being has a functional and often material independence, has conditional. It has cognitive traits. It has a consciousness. It has reason, and it is recognized in the legal system as a person. Do you agree with that definition? Cognitive traits, consciousness.
The problem with the legal definition thing here is like that's the legal definition is kind of besides the point, is it not?
Okay. Well, let us remove that.
Because like the debate is more about like what the law should be, not like what the law is.
Yeah, let us remove the being considered in the legal definition part. Let us just use it has the capacity to reason, the capacity to be conscious, to feel pain, pleasure.
As long as you include reason in there, I'm going to say yes.
Yes, I include reason in there. Yes.
Yeah. If reasoning is included, then yes.
Okay. Do you agree with that definition, Water?
Seems pretty. Can you reiterate it real quick?
Yeah. The capacity of a human to reason, to be conscious, feel pleasure, pain.
Yeah, that seems fair. Yeah.
Okay. Now, nice. We agree on that. Now, you say that the baby acquires those characteristics just after giving birth, right? So you don't give it like a timeline. You just give it not birth, not person, birth, person, right? You don't give it like a strict time.
Oh, I think I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
Yes. And you say that your argument for that is because, well, it is not dependent on the mother physically, like being attached to an umbilical cord. That's your justification. Yeah. Okay. Why does that matter? Because we know babies can feel pleasure and pain. Obviously, they're not as reasonable as, let's say, a 4-year-old and a 10-year-old. And if we determine personhood on being your capacity to reason, your consciousness, we know that some people are smarter than others, or some people are more conscious than others. So we would be putting human worth in a spectrum, right? And that's no good.
I think you've actually just convinced me that reason is not a necessary component to personhood.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Why is dependency on the physical dependency on the mother through an umbilical cord important for creating personhood, or did I change your mind on personhood being important because you just established that reason is not a good use of human worth?
Sorry, could you ask the question again?
Yeah, sorry. Why is being attached to the umbilical cord important? Now, you said it's because, well, when it's not attached, when it's birthed, it's because of acquires personhood. Now, with the definition of personhood that I just gave you, is that valid? Because you just said that rationality is not a good
reason.
Yeah, yes,
reason. Obviously, a baby. Obviously, a baby that was just born is incapable of reason. So yes, I would rescind that. Reason is a necessary component.
Right. Or at least has way less than 2 months. Like a 1 week has less reason than a 2 month, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I would
So-
disagree with that heavily, but yeah, I don't think that's more
No, I
reason.
can see why I
think
can see why you would disagree with that. Yeah.
I think I think the reason I think it's knowledge. It has more knowledge than like a 2-week-old. I would say. I think that's the same.
Like it has
logical
more
reason.
experience.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Right, but like in terms of like making puzzles, like a 4-year-old can make a puzzle and a 2-week-old can't. Like there's a
Well, right,
progression.
that's because it doesn't
right?
have the knowledge of how to do the puzzle, though, right? It's not like you're adding like logical faculties to the child.
No,
You're just giving
Yeah.
their brain does evolve into reason,
But
like
you
they
just-
gain more reason through time.
Yeah, you gradually attain reason.
Yes. Do you still establish that personhood is an important characteristics of making that life valuable, or or not anymore? Do you think personhood is still
No,
valid?
I still think personhood is
Why?
important.
If personhood is you cannot separate personhood and rationality. You cannot separate the two of them.
we just do that?
No, we're talking about rationality, and then I'm saying that within the definition of personhood, rationality is included in that. So if you just discard rationality,
I
from
just
personhood,
I just agreed that it wasn't.
so you're saying that rationality has nothing to do with personhood.
No.
Okay, now what you have with the definition of personhood just be feeling pleasure and pain, because the other one was the capacity to reason or having rationality. You already discarded that. So
Didn't you say consciousness?
yes, but consciousness. We can get into consciousness if you want.
Because
Self-awareness. Let's put
I mean,
self-awareness.
I would argue a baby has some level of consciousness. It can definitely sense when you're touching it or like feeding it.
But the same thing with rationality or reason, it has a graduation. Some more people are more conscious than others. Therefore, some people are more valuable than others. Right? If you follow that line of thought.
Yes, I don't quite understand. Sorry.
Okay. What I'm trying to do is to explain why personhood is not a good way of measuring human worth, because personhood includes feeling pleasure, feeling pain and pleasure, consciousness,
Mhm.
and being able to reason. Now, we already talked about why reason is not good, so you discarded that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, consciousness, the same thing with consciousness. Some people have more consciousness than others, and we're putting people on a spectrum in terms of worth, which is not good. Or do you think it's good?
You're saying it would put them on a spectrum of worth?
If we value, if consciousness is like a fundamental aspect of their worth as a human being, by necessity, some people are more conscious than others. Therefore, some people are more valuable than others. Do you agree with that?
I don't think so. No.
What do you think about that, Water?
I think that your reasoning's pretty sound there. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think there's any flaw with that. Honestly, you want to tag in? Do you want to tag in? I'm fine with the tag. Boom, boom. Mace,
honestly,
I'm calling it.
Well, actually, we'll just go ahead and get the closing statements because I think we've
What?
pretty good ending here. I think we just need to say what we need to say.
Sure we did.
Where we get there. And thank you, Wozniak.
Thanks, Wozniak.
All right. So, for closing statements, I think we'll go ahead and do about 4 minutes uninterrupted, just to say your point, say how you think the debate went, plug yourself and social medias, whatever. 4 minutes for who got the first? We gave Water the first, so we'll give Silly Rose the torch.
Oh my god, I'm not ready for a closing statement. You can have it, Water, if you want.
Water. There you go. 4 minutes starts now.
Okay, yeah, my closing is literally just like abortion's still pretty bad. I think that we're ignoring that. Instead of taking responsibility for your own actions through consenting to sex and accepting that there are possibilities during sex that you will have a kid, you're shifting the responsibility onto the kid for a decision that it didn't make. Additionally, I don't think that my opponent made any convincing, or he actually just outright said that there was no outright value to life, which is just condemnable. I don't think it actually follows most of the value. I guarantee if we look through many of the positions that he has otherwise, I guarantee that wouldn't be a consistent principle. But I digress. That's about all I have to say. My socials are on God I Love Water. That's pretty much it for everything, including Instagram and whatnot. Yeah.
All right. Silly Rose, your 4 minute closing statement starts now.
So I mean, my main points, I believe, where personhood starts at, well, honestly, these kind of formed throughout the debate, but I admittedly I was going in with like a clean mind. So personhood starts at birth when the baby is no longer dependent on the mother. I guess that was one of my big points. And a fetus is not capable of having autonomy, but like a fully grown woman is, and like in that situation, it just seems obvious that like the one that has autonomy, or sorry, the one that can think should have the choice to me. But yeah, most of all, women just shouldn't have to deal with the side effects of pregnancy. Even if you're accepting the possibility of getting pregnancy from having sex, if those consequences are 100% preventable, I don't see why they should be prevented. Yeah, that's my side of it.
All right. Well, for anybody watching in Rose's audience, discord.gg/platinumpolitics. Also, Platinum Politics is all of our socials. We are live streaming now. This is kind of a new thing. This is the second live stream that we've done for Platinum Politics, and glad to have a server regular and a brand new person for us here.
I did terrible. You don't need to.
I mean, you did not too bad. It is your first debate, all is well.
I suppose for my first, it wasn't total dog shit.
Yeah. And to be honest, it wasn't Water's best either. But
Oh no, definitely not.
That's it.
So the server or the debate after party usually takes place in Politics Voice Chat 1. So we can all disperse there as needed.
What, dude? I gotta pee and do stuff. I don't have time for party.
You don't have to join it. It's all up to you. But it was
Cool.
a great debate. Glad to have it. And yeah, we're done. I really hope you enjoyed that debate. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And check out our other debates. We have some pretty good ones on the channel. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.